you have a waistband that is not an elastic waistband, you can also just cut the waistband off. But try to do this neatly. Once you do that, you're going to open up your shorts, cut down the seam and open up the shorts until you have a flat piece of fabric, because this is going to be the fabric for our bralette. We're going to need 4 equal pieces, and I like to do 4 pieces instead of 2 because I like for each bralette to have a second layer, kind of like a lining. I'm using a bathing suit top for my pattern, and you're just going to simply cut around it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance with your cutting. You can use a rotary cutter, you can use scissors, whatever you want, but make sure you add the 1/2 inch seam allowance around the pattern that you're using. I always say use a pattern just because it helps you to make sure that this will actually fit. So find the bralette or the bathing suit top that fits you the most. So we're going to again cut out the second additional pieces for this bralette. Once that is cut out, we're going to move the other fabric to the side, and this is how we create the kind of cupping effect, which makes it look flattering on your chest and not just 2 triangles sitting there. So you're going to fold them in half, connecting the 2 bottom corners, and you're going to measure 2 inches from the bottom corner. You're going to pin it to guide you, and then you're going to do a 1/2 inch from the corner to the bottom, which is going to create a little semi-triangle that you're going to stitch. That's going to create a little pocket or buckle at the bottom, which is going to cup underneath the breast area. It kind of just gives your bralette a little bit more professional look, especially if your fabric is not stretched. If your fabric is stretched, you can kind of get away with it not having this, but I still do it on stretched fabric as well. As you can see, I create the little triangle with the pins, and I'm going to do that on both sides, making sure the corners are connected evenly, and I'm going to stitch it down from pin to pin. Now once that is done, you're going to open it up, and we're going to be using the side that is not pinned. And you see how it has kind of like a cupping effect at the bottom? Yeah, that's what you want it to look like. So next we're going to take our additional fabric and we're going to use that trim. Now if your fabric or your shorts does not have any trim, you can use some foldable elastic, and foldable elastic comes in all different colors. I'm going to use white because I'm cutting out the trim to add to the bralette, but I'm going to later on add the elastic for the straps. So that's what I have left over, and you're going to just align it piece by piece over your triangle so that it gives it more of a detailed effect and not just, again, 2 just triangles sitting on your chest. So we're going to use this white trim to make it look that much cuter. Now first I like to put it where I want it first before I pin it, because I want to make sure I have enough trim for what I'm trying to do, and just make sure that it's properly laid out and that it's going to look the way I want it to look. So I always do this first before I do any sewing or any pinning or anything like that, just because I want to get the look that I'm going for. Now that that is all laid out, we are going to pin her down. And pinning just allows it to be neater, so when you sew it, it doesn't move all over the place. So that's what it looks like when it's finally all pinned. I pin one side and then you're going to stitch it down. Now I like to use a zigzag stitch to stitch these sides down, especially if you're using elastic. Use a zigzag stitch, not a straight stitch. Now we're going to again go in and add back in our waistband, because that is going to be the band for our bralette. Now you're going to cut that in half, and you're going to find the center point and put a pin there, because you want to make sure that that is in the center of the bra. be towards the end, and I just kind of stitch that on the bottom. And again, I use elastic fabric at the top after I cut this off to create a halter type effect. Now, on this video, I have the trimming, and you can use this trimming as your straps as well, but I just think the elastic straps just give more versatility, and it actually helps you have more movement. So I suggest cutting off the trim after the triangle and using the elastic for the straps. Only using the trim for the trim of the bra, if that makes sense. But for this video's sake, I use the trim for the straps of the bra, but I later go and change that. Now what's fun about the straps is you can make them do however you want them to do. So I did a halter top, but you can see, you can cross them, you can do regular straps that just go straight down, you can do a halter top, you can do whatever you want to do. You can tie it around the neck, you can sew it together where it just goes around the neck. Just have fun, whatever you like, whatever gives you the most support, whatever, whatever you want. Be creative. You can decide. That's the versatility of the bralette. And this is my final look. I put a backpack snap on the side. All you do is stick it in and sew it down with a zigzag stitch. And there is my elastic, foldable elastic. I actually folded it at the top and did a zigzag stitch and just left it loose towards the back. And there you have it, my Reebok reworked bralette. You can make this out of any pair of shorts. You don't have to use Reebok. You don't have to use Nike. You don't have to use any name brand. You can use whatever you want. So I hope this helps you guys make your own little bralette. It's really